Falling in love should immerse you into a world of safety, a place where you can be yourself, somewhere you will be encouraged to be the best version of yourself, giving the same to your partner too. However, some people simply don't know what love is. They are incapable of anything beautiful. Instead, whether through nature or nurture, they use love to control and even to kill. Viewer discretion is advised for this educational documentary. Welcome or welcome back to CASE Documentaries. I bring you true crime, disturbing stories and other things that you may later regret knowing with regular uploads every week. Join the quickly growing, incredibly supportive CASE family by hitting subscribe now and turning on notifications. Thank you so much to all of my patrons. If your name is on screen right now, then you're a legend. Our love and respect goes out to all those that knew and loved Hollie and all those affected by this dark case. Hollie Gazzard was a 20-year-old woman with a spirit as fiery as her vibrant red hair. Growing up in Gloucester, UK, Hollie was described by her friends and family as energetic, as vivacious, easy to like, and having a zest for life that left a lasting impression on every person that she encountered. She was born prematurely, tipping the scales at just over 5 pounds. Hollie was a gift to her mother Mandy, father Nick, and her sister Chloe. She was so small when she was born that her father had to purchase doll's clothes. This was until she could fit into the newborn sizing. Hollie's mother described her as vibrant, lively, caring, loyal, saying that she was simply lovely to be around as she grew up. To her, Hollie wasn't just a daughter. She was a best friend who had an impact on her that was unforgettable. Whether you met her or merely caught a glimpse of her, Hollie's infectious energy, beaming smile and positive influence were impossible to ignore. She lived every day by her favourite quote: "Have hope, be strong, laugh loud and play hard. Live in the moment, smile often, dream big. Remember you are loved, and never, never give up." A determined and successful individual, Hollie served as an inspiration to others, cherished by her family, friends and colleagues. While she shared her father's passion for Manchester United, an English football team, Hollie's true passion lay in the world of hairdressing. In November of 2012, she secured a place at the Steiner Training Academy in London, and there she was set to begin in March of 2013. Before starting this new chapter, Hollie accepted a job at Zest Bar. Her outgoing and bubbly personality made her a perfect fit. Gloucester is an historic city nestled in the scenic southwest of England. It's located on the River Severn and it's known for its architecture. Gloucester does have stunning cathedrals along with quaint streets. The city's charm and character provide a blend of historic and modern elements to make it a notable destination. Community spirit is often strong in Gloucester. Friendly locals contribute to a welcoming atmosphere of events, festivals and activities throughout the year. Hollie's family thrived in Gloucester, but Hollie wanted more. Hollie knew that London would offer her more as she was working towards her career as a hairdresser. The industry was simply booming in London. It was just as Hollie was nearing the end of her time at Zest Bar when she met Asher Maslin. Asher was instantly captivated by Hollie, persistently pursuing her until she agreed to go on a date with him. The love story unfolded rapidly, with Hollie visibly happy in her newfound romance. After just a few weeks, Hollie introduced her boyfriend to her family. To her mother Mandy's surprise, she recognised him from her work as a dinner lady. Hollie's father Nick acknowledged that Asher had a bit of a reputation as a bad boy, but he emphasised his belief in second chances. Described as a Jack the Lad with a confident and talkative demeanour, Hollie's boyfriend gained the approval of her parents and they continued on with their relationship. It was soon after their romance began that Hollie started her dream job as a hairdresser on a cruise ship. This meant that she left her new boyfriend behind. However, only a week into the cruise, Hollie reached out to her dad. She was expressing a strong desire to come home because she had been dealing with extreme seasickness. Her father was confused about her decision to abandon her dream job, and he later came to believe that her new boyfriend was bombarding her with persistent text messages, along with calls and FaceTime interactions, all where he influenced her to cut her cruise experience short. Upon Hollie's early return home, Asher's possessiveness intensified. He started showing up uninvited on Hollie's nights out with her friends, and began trailing her from club to club. Hollie's friend Kaylee became concerned as she witnessed the fact that Asher tried to control Hollie's every move. He would resist her social outings and demanded that she stay at home. The increasing intrusion into her personal life became a concerning pattern. This signaled the emergence of a possessive and controlling dynamic in their relationship. Despite Hollie securing a job in London within a couple of months of her return home from the cruise ship, Asher proposed the idea of moving in with his cousin in the capital. Hollie hesitantly agreed. She thought that perhaps the presence of a roommate would cause Asher to behave more respectfully towards her. However, even with the change of location, Asher's controlling behavior persisted and even got worse. During a planned lunch outing with Hollie's family, Asher interrupted with a phone call. He instructed her not to let her family take her away from him. Upon their return to Gloucester for Hollie's mother's birthday meal, Asher's true nature began to surface in front of Hollie's family. In a drunken state, he showed abusive behavior towards Hollie. He humiliated her in front of everyone and treated her disrespectfully. Hollie's father said he spoke to her like a piece of dirt. Asher's demanding and disrespectful conduct revealed a troubling dynamic. It showcased a lack of regard for Hollie's well-being or her dignity. Hollie's family became increasingly worried about their relationship, but there was little they could do to convince her to leave him. The breaking point came in August of 2013 at the Notting Hill Carnival. While at the carnival with Asher's family, the couple became separated. Upon finally finding Hollie, who had taken his nephew to the restroom, Asher's anger escalated beyond control, leading him to push Hollie to the ground. Following this incident, Hollie decided to move back in with her family. This was all in order to escape Asher and their toxic relationship. After leaving Asher and moving back in with her parents, Hollie was able to secure yet another job at Fringe Benefits along with LaBelle Hair and Beauty in the city. Her creative talents and vibrant personality earned her a ton of popularity among her colleagues and her clients. She now truly began to thrive in her passions. Hollie also took on a part-time role behind the bar at the King Teddy in Long Levens, Gloucester. This was the bar where her sister Chloe already worked. Despite Hollie's efforts to move on from Asher's wrath, Asher returned to the area and successfully persuaded her to take him back. The possessive behavior almost immediately resumed. Asher would call and text Hollie almost non-stop. This was to the point where she even had to resort to shutting off her phone to escape his fixation with her. As their relationship continued, Asher's behavior towards Hollie became physically violent. There were numerous and regular incidents where he grabbed her around the neck. He would also strike her with his hands and feet as well as push her. By the time Christmas arrived, Hollie had been pushed to the point where she wanted to end the relationship for a second time. However, when she attempted to discuss it with him, he refused to accept the fact that Hollie wanted out of the relationship. Hollie's unhappiness became obvious to everyone around her. It caused a noticeable change in her demeanor towards her friends and her family. She wanted to keep things to herself to avoid worrying the people in her life that loved her. Eventually, things got so bad between Hollie and Asher that Hollie knew she needed to end the relationship before matters became even worse. However, despite Hollie's attempts to end the relationship amicably, Asher still would not accept it. On Valentine's Day of 2014, Hollie decided to break up with Asher in a restaurant. She chose a public space for her own personal safety. However, Asher still reacted with extreme anger. He accused her of having a cold heart, screaming at her there and then. When Hollie tried to leave, Asher followed her to her car. There he stole her bank card and cleared her bank account of £300. After the separation, Asher's behaviour took an even more threatening turn. He sent Hollie text messages saying violent things, describing how he was going to smash her house up, and threatening to harm her and her family if she didn't call him back. Following these threats, Hollie called the police on February the 15th to provide a statement. She revealed details about her fears and the fact that Asher had stolen money from her. In her statement, she detailed the threats that Asher had made over multiple occasions. These included threats of throwing acid on her face, of ruining her career, of beating her up and causing her to lose her looks, and to have his family attack her if she ever broke up with him. Hollie had not previously shared these details with her family. They now realised the true horror that she had been enduring. Hollie's father thought back on all the times that Asher's behaviour had worsened as the relationship progressed. It got to the point where he had asked Asher not to come to the house anymore. However, he didn't realise that things could get quite this serious. Upon her phone call, the police were aware of a previous incident that was captured on CCTV. This was an incident where Asher had put his hands around Hollie's neck. They also had information about domestic maltreatment involving one of his previous partners. But the officer that took Hollie's call failed to record many of the details that she provided in her statement. The officer who took the call lacked any kind of domestic maltreatment training. They simply did not know how to approach the issues of stalking and harassment. Nevertheless, Hollie visited the police station on both February the 15th and the 16th. There she spoke to two officers about what she had been enduring. Following these conversations, the officers made attempts to locate Asher and to arrest him. However, they failed to locate him. The safety plan for Hollie relied on locating and arresting Asher to keep him away from her. But when they failed to find him, Hollie was left to protect herself. On February the 18th, just 2 days after Hollie's last visit to the police station, Asher somehow found out about her correspondence with the police. In response, Asher took his DVD player to a pawn shop. There he sold it for just £5, and then he used that money to purchase a sharp implement. While Asher was doing this, Hollie was telling one of her customers, Elma Rogers, how she was scared to leave her house apart from going to work. Asher's threatening behaviour escalated as he bombarded Hollie with abusive text messages. This included a disturbing message indicating his intentions to seriously harm her. He then sent an ominous text to her sister's partner, issuing a warning for what he was about to do. Shortly after, Asher walked into the salon where Hollie worked. Expecting Asher might arrive that day, it was just before 6 p.m. when Hollie had discussed with her boss at the salon what was going on between her and her ex-boyfriend. The two had prepared to call the police in case he showed up, and about 30 minutes later, Asher walked in. He immediately targeted Hollie, striking her in the face. As a customer named Mark attempted to intervene, Hollie's boss dialed 999. Despite these efforts, Asher ignored everyone's attempts to stop him, and instead he began viciously attacking Hollie with the sharp implement that he had just bought. The horrifying attack lasted just over 1 minute, during which time Asher struck Hollie with the implement 14 times. Colleagues and customers in the salon tried to help, but Asher warned them off. After this frenzied attack, he left the salon and went home. There he changed the clothes that were now stained with the aftermath of what he had done. Hollie was rushed to the hospital. However, sadly, she was already gone by the time she arrived.
When she finally tried to break it off, Maslin stabbed her 14 times in the salon where she worked. The warning signs of endless control and mind games had all been there. A damning report into the police handling of the case was a wake-up call. Now, a change in the law allows the police to act against psychological abuse before it turns violent.
Everyone was horrified by the events of what had happened, haunted by what they had just witnessed. All of Asher's actions had been captured on Gloucester's CCTV network. This allowed the police to quickly track him down and finally make an arrest like they had tried to do multiple times over the past couple of days.
Good evening. Hundreds of people gathered at Gloucester Cathedral today to say a final goodbye to Hollie Gazzard, the 20-year-old hairdresser who died after being stabbed at work.
Speaking at the service, her grandfather said she lit up the lives of everyone she came into contact with. She made everyone smile. Our Gloucestershire correspondent Ken Goodwin reports.
Hundreds of people turned up to Gloucester Cathedral to say goodbye to Hollie Gazzard. Her mother, father, sister and grandparents escorted her coffin into the building. Hollie's grandfather, David Jenkins, described her as a beautiful young woman who lit up the lives of everyone she met. He read out a verse from Hollie's sister Chloe, which said she wished that she could climb up to heaven and bring Hollie back down with her. What it meant to lose you, no one will ever know. Afterwards, as Hollie's family attended a private cremation service, those who knew her said she was a very special person.
Bright shining star, beautiful, beautiful girl, lit up a room when she went in, and she had a tiny girl, massive personality.
She was just wonderful. She just lit up everything. She was just fantastic.
We are quite a close-knit community, and I think what Sally said there, we are all very struck, and it's hit us all hard.
With all of the evidence against him, police were able to use the CCTV footage to piece together exactly what had happened. This also allowed them to recover the weapon that Asher had used in the attack. The arrest came quickly, as did Asher's trial. During the court proceedings, Asher pled guilty to the crimes he committed against Hollie. Hollie's family read victim impact statements. These included the horror they had endured as they learned of their daughter's passing at the hands of a man who had also threatened their lives. The judge characterised Hollie's attack as a merciless ending to a beautiful life. They handed down a life sentence to Asher Maslin, with a minimum term of 24 years to be served. Asher demonstrated no remorse throughout the proceedings. Do you think the punishment fits the crimes here? What do you think can be done to avoid something like this happening again in the future? Please do let me know down in the comments. And remember to hit like if you appreciate what I'm doing here. Be careful out there, and I'll see you soon.